Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and in this video subject, I wanted to discuss the topic of the episode of The Flash that happened last night, which was episode 7, season 7, episode 15, called Enemy at the Gates. And Barry Allen and Iris are back from vacation now, so that's basically over with. We know that they're obviously pregnant, but Barry tested West Allen, his wife, her blood and urine samples, and it said she wasn't pregnant, but he had a vision where Nora came to hug him, his daughter, Nora Allen. Then he got up and realized it was a dream after he was sleeping. But we know that she's going to be there, and Bart Allen, his son's supposed to be there from the future, so we don't know how that's going to work out. Sue Dearborn was not in this episode, so that's something I did notice. They're continuing to have Allegra and her cousin Ultraviolet, real name Esperanza, to be the focus for her storyline. And this Caitlin Snow helped her, obviously, with her surgery to get her mask off her face and fix her whole entire speech and vocal cords, because obviously what Black Hole did to her was basically make her a fighting machine / slave, and she is not able to live or breathe without the mask on. So Caitlin Snow is trying to help her out with that. That's basically what we saw. Joe West went to go hang and basically, not hang, I guess you could say hang out. He was hanging out talking to, obviously, he eventually went into a stakeout, helping her solve her case. Agent Kramer. They keep continuing with that storyline. That storyline's been dead and gone for weeks now. They should just get rid of it. And keep continuing with it. It really makes no sense. Like, they're not going to talk about the situation with Ralph Dibny, and we're not seeing Cisco yet, obviously, but for another couple more episodes. But they just keep dragging on that Kramer situation. Like, she's gone. They bring her back. I'm like, she's supposed to be the bad cop now. She's the person that is obviously in need of help, obviously, and Joe West is going to help her. And I guess after that, when the case is finally solved and they find this ex-military guy that she used to be friends with, who obviously lured her team to a trap and betrayed them, and they all died, and she's the only one that survived. After they find this guy who almost killed them at the end of the episode, the end credit scene. I think he shot an RPG at them or something, but the car exploded and stuff like that, and Joe West and Kramer look like they're obviously okay, but we'll see what happens with that. I don't know, but that whole storyline is a waste of time, and it's just annoying. And hopefully this is the end, obviously, of them continuing to do the whole back and forth with Allegra and Ultraviolet, her cousin, saying, I don't trust you really that much, and I don't trust the team. And she's like explaining to her, like Allegra's explaining to Ultraviolet, I've been with them for months now, we've been fighting for multiple people, we've suffered losses together, you can trust them. That's been dragging on too, so they finally finished that, obviously, in this episode, which is great. So now they can do the whole Allegra's joining the team now, because obviously they need the help, so we'll see what happens with that. So, but those two storylines have been dragging on for a while now, but and then Sue Dearborn and Ralph Dibny, they're not answering that question, which I saw in another episode, another article, which I'm going to show you here. But Barry Allen and the team, with help from Chillbane. Chillbane helped Killer Frost fight multiple Godspeeds, clones, copies of him. Barry Allen did himself, obviously, as the Flash. They breached the Star Labs after the force field that they put up around Star Labs was busted and broken down by them. All the clones and variations of Godspeed, copies of him, kept punching at the force field. Then they started shooting with electromagnetic waves or something from their body, and I don't know who's controlling them, but they were able to take it down after like about 5 minutes, obviously, about around that time. And that's unfortunately what happened. And for some reason, Barry and obviously Chester were able to obviously try to keep them back. Chester was able to hide in the secret, obviously, panic room that they have in the walls, where you obviously know where they're hiding. Where the people are hiding there, like that's obviously the secret, obviously, spotter area where Harrison Wells used to hide, obviously, when he was obviously lying to the team and telling them that he was not obviously crippled, and he obviously was not a wheelchair. He was faking it, obviously, gaining energy and speed, obviously, in his chair all the time, as obviously the Reverse Flash. So Chester was in there, and he thought he was safe talking to Gideon, and then minutes later, one of the Godspeed copies busted in there and broke the barrier wall door down, which you can't even get into unless you obviously know where it's at because it's a secret hiding place, obviously, in Star Labs, and that's obviously not the case now. So we thought Chester obviously was going to get just messed up or possibly killed, and then they were able to, with the help of Chester, Barry, kind of figure this situation out where they were able to scramble their brains with some type of electromagnetic sound pulse frequency to throw them off, and they all escaped and ran out of Star Labs, and Barry kind of chased them to lure them out to not harm the city or the rest of the team, and he went around the city. They attacked Barry. He was getting obviously beat up and attacked because he was outnumbered, multiple variations of Godspeed copies, 6-on-1, and then another army, so two different armies or copies of Godspeed. It was like 12. It was 6-on-6. Another army of them came out of nowhere, and they were fighting each other. And Barry was just standing there like, what the hell is going on? And then they beat each other up, and then they were all gone. It was really weird. So he's trying to figure out the rest of the team. Chillbane, obviously, is joining the team now with Allegra, but he tricked Killer Frost at the end and escaped out the window. So we don't know what's going on with that. He'll come back eventually, but I don't know what's going on with that. But she told him, I'm not a good guy, so I can't be that. But she told him, can you help me? And the rest of us, obviously, because we're about to be attacked by all these Godspeeds and we all could die, and we need your help. And he said, sure, I'll do it. And she gave him his chill ice bracelets, and he was able to, put those on and help her fight. Obviously told Killer Frost, I'm here for you, but he tricked her and jumped out of a window and created a distraction with two chemical bonds he put together in a drink, and he made the drink explode, and then he jumped out the window after she turned her back. So we'll see what happens with that, but Godspeed is other copies, the clones of him, they're back. We don't know who's controlling them, when the real Godspeed is going to come out, obviously, and reveal himself. We'll see, obviously, but he's obviously been using copies and different variations of himself, so we'll see what happens with that. John Diggle is supposed to be on the episode next week. Dave Ramsey's coming back to reprise as John Diggle in this episode. Next week's episode, which will be episode 16, Season 7, Episode 16. He was also on DC Legends of Tomorrow a couple days ago. And just last week, he was on Supergirl, so he's making different appearances on the CW TV network Arrowverse shows that he obviously has been on before, but obviously, since Green Arrow is no longer on the air, he can go on any different show every other week, literally. That's what he's doing. Two times this week, he was on different shows, obviously. So, like I said, Supergirl, he was on there last week. This past Sunday, a couple days ago, he's on DC Legends of Tomorrow. He played obviously a cowboy marshal, but it wasn't him. He was playing a character, but he obviously wasn't the John Diggle, obviously, of that time. He was playing a character of the past. So when Sarah Lance asked him, "Hey, Dig, is that you?" She said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Oh yeah, I do dig," but obviously he doesn't know what she's talking about because that obviously was not John Diggle, obviously, because he's not traveling through time like the Legends obviously are. So that was obviously something that obviously happened. So. It's like his great grandfather's a cowboy, so that's his great grandfather, something like that. But yeah, but he's making an appearance, obviously, still playing the same actor. Obviously, he's playing on different shows. The character John Diggle, so that's what we're gonna see happens with that. He's not gonna be suiting up as the Green Lantern all on the CW TV network. I don't know if he's still gonna be doing it on HBO Max. I have no idea what's going on with that. But it looks like that's not going to happen on the CW TV. HBO Max is going to take that, and they're going to probably, I don't know if that's still going to happen, but that's what was supposed to be. That's what is what I'm seeing online. He's going to be playing the Green Lantern, but it won't be. It'll be on HBO Max. It's not going to be on the CW TV network like DC is letting HBO Max predominantly grab the rights to that, where their grittier shows are on, like the DC Titans show and. All the Superman and Batman movies are on there. Batman and Robin, Batman and Beyond, Batman Forever. Excuse me, there's not a Batman and Robin movie, but there's Batman Forever, obviously. Robin was introduced in that one, obviously, with Val Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell. And then Chris O'Donnell played him again, obviously. And actually, there was a Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. Yeah, I think there was a Batman and Robin movie. Yeah, I think that was the second one after that. That was when Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze, and Poison Ivy was played by Uma Thurman, obviously. Yeah, so that's basically what's going on. Yeah, all the shows, all the grittier shows are on there, and of course the Justice League, Superman versus Batman, the Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So that's why all the other DC shows and stuff, like I said, the Titans show, they're all on there because they can be rated R and they can include cursing and blood and obviously more violence, and you can do that and that. And these episodes in this show, obviously, and the budget is obviously going to be different because Dave Ramsey is going to be in his own universe. But even though that's the case, obviously, I mean, I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll see. But the fight versus Godspeeds versus Barry Allen was great. This was an amazing episode, making up for the last couple episodes that have been, okay, but they're like average. But like I said, a lot of these storylines have been dragging on. But now the main focus now is what we see in this episode going into next week's episode, which is now the last of the season, which is going to be Godspeed as the villain, the main villain. I don't know what's going to happen with Speed Force, and obviously the rest of this force is with her. If they're going to obviously fight Barry Allen, the rest of the team, possibly and before the season's over, they'll make an appearance before Godspeed comes back. I don't know, or they're going to save them for next season and continuing on from there. It looks like that's what's going on now. They paused that whole entire storyline / plot in order to bring in Godspeed as the main villain for this season, because they ended the Eva McCollum / Mirror Master episode / saga in the third episode of this second or third episode of this season, and that was kind of weird. Now she's like, I'm going back to my Mirrorverse, and just to make that place obviously better, clean it up, and I thought they needed to just throw her another dimension and not let her escape, but they gave her a chance after Barry Allen and the whole team talked her down and said, and Iris West saying, you don't have to do this, you're destroying the city, look what you're doing. Obviously, while they're out in the street, she was destroying the city and scaring people with multiple copies, mirror masters of herself, obviously, and different versions, more copies of her, not different versions, just more copies of her to destroy the city, Star City. So that's basically it. My review for this episode of The Flash. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. The last couple episodes have been good, but this was way better. The only thing I didn't kind of like was that the Godspeed protocol. Well, there was a protocol. The Godspeeds attacked the Star Labs. The only protocol that they had was, we have a shield, and if the shield gets taken down, we're screwed. So I thought that was really weird. Like, that's the only protocol you guys have. Like, there's no like all that technology you guys have, and you guys are superheroes too, and there's no like backup like meta-human dampening like guns or bullets that can shoot out of the whole facility. Like, I thought that was really weird. I didn't like that. Also, something that was an issue and a problem obviously was Allegra was actually deciding not to help the team. She was too busy waiting to see if her cousin was going to be okay, who was obviously Ultraviolet. I thought she should have waited to go help the team, because Barry Allen was obviously outnumbered, obviously himself, and Chillbane and Chillbane and Killer Frost were taking him out, 4 of them at a time. Barry was taking the other 6 by himself. Chester could have got killed if luckily he did not. And this is obviously something, and I was like looking around like, well, where's Sue Dearborn at? She's not in the episode. Obviously Cisco's no longer there. Ultraviolet was not able to help them because she was incapacitated on a surgery table slab, whereas Caitlin Snow was operating on her. Allegra didn't say, you know what, I need to go help the team. Can you stay here? Cecile was right next to her and said, your cousin's going to be okay. She should have actually went to go help them because they have less help. And Sue Dearborn, who said she was going to be on the show now for the rest of the season, apparently saying, I'm going to stay with you guys now. Now she's back. Ralph Dibny obviously is not there, so there's no Elongated Man, so they're not there. So I was like, well, they're shorthanded. Why aren't you guys helping? That seemed obviously weird to me. So this is obviously something I want to talk about in the end to close this out. It's right here. This was obviously 3 days ago. It says, why the Flash keeps avoiding answering its Big Ralph question. Ever since Hartley Sawyer's Elongated Man was written out of the Arrowverse, the Flash has been avoiding answering its Big Ralph Dibny questions. Yes, they are and they have not. They had him on the show a couple of episodes ago. Somebody else played him, obviously. Guy had a helmet on. Sue Dearborn came back, and they were like, here out of nowhere, hey guys, we're back. Now the last couple episodes, she's back and he's not nowhere to be seen or found, and it's like really weird. I'm like, well, are you gonna have the same guy? Are you gonna have obviously the guy who played him a couple weeks ago with the helmet on his head, so we'll never see his face and know who he is? Is he gonna keep playing him and he's gonna stay like that? Or are you just going to write him out completely, and Sue Dearborn is going to be there only by herself, continuing to come back and back over and over again, now that she said, hey guys, I'm going to stay here for now in the city? I'm not going to be on the run anymore. So they haven't been answering that, and that's obviously something that they haven't done at all. And he was fired. He was fired in season 4. We're in season 7 now. Like, what have you been doing? You know, now it's like they should have did that months ago. Now they just randomly could bring her and him back and say, "Hey guys, we're here now." And he's obviously somebody else is playing him in a helmet. Obviously a couple weeks ago, and she's back with him now. The last couple episodes, she's there, he's nowhere to be seen, no one's playing him, and that's obviously what's been going on. So now Cisco and obviously Harrison Wells are gone, but he left before they did because obviously they fired him off the show. But they're still not, like I said, answering the question, and they're not obviously explaining it. What's going on? This has been for seasons now. It's going into the 8th season. Like, you guys still haven't said anything about this. Like, this is like, and he was obviously supposed to be an important character with him and Sue Dearborn eventually getting married. Obviously, but that's not going to happen. So it's a waste of a character, a waste of a storyline / plot. Now you're bringing Sue Dearborn back, and Ralph's not going to be with her at all, and nobody's saying nothing about him on the episode like he doesn't exist. Like, in any of the episodes, it's really weird and annoying. But like I said, we'll see what happens with that. That's the end of my video, and that's all I have to say about this. With the Flash and the recent news that's been going on, Bart Allen, obviously Nora Allen West, Ralph, Barry Allen's kids will be making an appearance, obviously, in a couple more episodes, and we'll see what happens with that. That's all I have to say about this in my video. Let me know what you have to think about, what you have to say about this. If you haven't watched the show, and what do you think about the Ralph Dibny question, and obviously what they've been showing online, obviously, as far as this article, any news that you have, obviously, in regards to this. Thank you again for watching my video, and let me know what you have to think about the episode too, and obviously the rest of the season as it comes along. Thank you again. Bye. Thank you.